Okay. So for the Vyanjan consonants, the first work is K work. I'm like how I did yesterday, I'll write the Nagari equivalent of the Sharda first so that you understand which letter I'm going to draw. This is K for Sharda. Similar way, Shirorekha. Then from the right in the middle, we draw this vertical line here, but try to keep this vertical line a little longer. As what we have done in Nagari, you will see a little shorter vertical line here, but in this case, we'll draw this line a little longer. And then from the center of this vertical line, we draw these two loops, closed loops. This is curve. You can see it again how I'm doing it. The vertical line in the middle is a little longer. Then in the center, I'm drawing these two loops here. That is curve. So very similar. The only difference is both the loops in this Sharda Ka are closed, whereas we have in Devanagari one loop is open like this, but here we close both the loops. That's the only difference. Then next one we have is Kha. And this is a little different from what we have in Devanagari. From the Shirolekha on the left hand side of the Shirolekha, just one vertical stroke like this. Then leave a little gap in between, and then this Devanagari per like figure. This is Kha. So this is completely different from what we have in the Devanagari version. I'm drawing it again. Leave a little gap, and this is Kha. Okay. Then the next one in this varg is Ga. This is Devanagari Ga. And Sharda Ga is not very different from what we have in Devanagari. A very little smaller difference here. This at the end, there is a triangle instead of a circular shape here. We draw a triangle here. And then this is Sharda Ga. Now, this triangle is not filled just because I'm using my pen has filled it on its own, so you don't need to scribble and fill the G inside. It should look like this. Only when we use the thick markers, then this space in between gets filled. Otherwise, you don't need to scribble and fill the gap in between. It can look like this as well. So this is G, very simple, almost similar to what we have in Devanagari. The only thing is, it's not a round shape here, it's a smaller triangle towards the end. Then this is Gha. Now for Sharda Gha, this is Gha. So both the loops are facing upwards. This also, you can keep a little shorter, but this is how it should look like. Even though you make it like this, won't make any difference. For example, you make it like this. That is also correct. But if your all the three loops, all these three lines are coinciding, they are at the same height, doesn't matter. If it's a little shorter also, that will work. But this gha in Sharda doesn't have a Shirorekha. Shirorekha is this line that we cover the alphabet with. That doesn't have, gha doesn't have it. And here in Sharda Lipi, you have to make note of these letters before we go ahead and we learn about the special rules, because there are some rules that are based on the presence and absence of the Shirorekha. So when we are leaving these learning these letters, make a note of these letters that this doesn't have a Shirorekha. The other ones up, we did all these letters with the Shirorekha. But here Gha doesn't have a Shirorekha. So you'll come across such letters which doesn't have a Shirorekha, and based on that, they follow a particular rule when we write the conjuncts, when we write the Sanyukta Akshar. So these rule will come in place that time. Okay, so this is Gha. And the last from this is no. This no. The nasal no. Now here, first I draw the Shirorekha, then a smaller stroke here, then a little longer line like this, and towards the end of the Shirorekha, a very small triangle. I'll draw it again here and just a little. When you're making this stroke, a little you have to curl your pen over here and get this stroke down, and a small triangle towards the end. Even if you're not able to make this right now, this a smaller curve here, you can just simply draw it like this also. This, and then another line coinciding like this, and a smaller triangle here. It is okay if you're not able to get this smaller, this kind of a curve here. With practice, you might get it, but in the beginning, you can just draw it like this simply. One line here and one line attaching here. So what I'll do is I'll just show you the simple way of making it. The stroke and another stroke like this, and a triangle at the end. It is okay if you're not getting what I have here, because in the beginning you might find it a little difficult to draw it because there are some other letters which has the similar shape, and then you might get confused. So keep it as simple as possible. Keep it like this. So this was Ka work. This was the last alphabet from this work. Now we are moving to the next one, Cha work. This is Cha. This is Cha in Sharda Lipi. Shirorekha. Then from the left, I draw this vertical line, and then I round up my pen. I take it back, make a stroke that goes downwards, then take it upwards like this. I'll draw it one more time, and you keep the eye on the movements of the pen. Rounding up, taking the stroke down, getting it all the way up to the Shirorekha. This is Cha. Then next one is Cha. Now in case of Cha, you might get a little confused. Now we draw this vertical stroke here in the beginning, and we don't take it further down. What we do is we draw two loops over here. Okay. So now, if you remember, the curve was similar looking. The only difference, you can figure out the difference here. This vertical line in the center, it goes all the way down here. That was the reason I told you to make uh, this stroke a little longer, so that you don't get confused when you draw ch, because ch doesn't have any stroke going downwards. These loops, that's it. So you can see a very minor difference between k and ch. So that's why I'm drawing the k also for you here, so that you can see the minute difference. This difference is what we have between k and ch. Okay. So I'll draw this ch again for you. Shirorekha, a vertical stroke, two loops. This is how ch looks like. Okay. Now we are moving to another letter, which is again something similar to what we did previously. Now this is j. We draw the Shirorekha first. From the left hand side, this is the na that we did in the ka work, very similar looking. Here, the loop that I'm drawing, how I did for ch, a little longer, a little bigger. Then this comes here. It curves up a little bit. And towards the end of the Shirorekha, we draw these two small parallel lines. Okay, let's draw it again. Shirorekha. From the left, we start with this smaller stroke, then we round our pen, we draw this slanting line, then once we draw this slanting line, we curve it a little bit. And then these two parallel lines. This is j. Okay, now see the na that we have drawn above. Very similar looking, see here. Now the only difference here is this triangle towards the end. Here we have these two parallel lines. And also here, this is an angle here, correct? What in this case, j, we have a smaller round behind, like how we have in ch, similar round, a round shape behind. Here we don't have this. In case of na, we don't have this. We just have these two lines, and there is no rounding. Here there is a rounding. Okay, so this is how we draw j. Just give me a second. I'll be back. Yes, sorry. So j, we were doing the j. So this is a difference that we just understood between this na and j. Make sure that when you draw j, you draw this circular loop around the corner. Okay. The next letter from this verb is j. This is j. We draw a Shirorekha. And from the left of that Shirorekha, a vertical line goes all the way down. Then there's a very small triangle here. Again, I'm not filling this triangle. You don't have to fill it. It just automatically gets filled because I'm using a thicker pen. And then from here, we draw this loop and it should join this vertical line here and meet at the Shirorekha. What I did was this line, vertical line, draw a smaller triangle here. Then from here, we draw this loop. This loop is a little bigger one. So far, we have seen very smaller loops in case of O, and now we saw a very small triangle. This is a very bigger loop because this is coming all the way from the right hand side of the Shirorekha and joining this vertical line here, like this. So this is Jha. The next one from this work is Nya. Again, we start with this vertical line here. Then we leave some gap. We draw a small hook-like shape here. And from here, I take my pen like this towards the right-hand side and get it back here. So let's draw this again. A line, vertical line, leaving some gap, a smaller hook-like stroke here. Then from here onwards, I just curl up my pen. I make a small round here and get it like this. This is near. Okay, but make sure that this vertical line and this where you are ending your this stroke, okay, they should all be of the same height here. See, this and this should be of the same height. Do not, while making this one, don't make it a shorter one or don't make it too long as well. They both should be ending at the same point here. This is new. And this shape, how similar to what we did in jaw and in case of nerve from cover, there were some similarities. You will come across a few more letters which will have the same shape here, this one. Okay, so this shape here, it is going to get repeated, but there are some changes that we are going to understand. But similar way, this shape is also going to repeat in the next coming letters. So with this, we have completed cha work also. So ka is done, cha is done. Now we move on to ta work. This is ta. Now here, if you remember yesterday, we drew the letter re, correct? So very similar to that, you will draw this loop here. Okay. Then again at the Shirorekha, just above this point where this is ending, right above that, we draw a small triangle. So these, these kinds of shapes you must have seen, they're sort of getting repeated. You did a re like this, then you did na, which had a smaller triangle. You did o, which had a bit bigger triangle. So these shapes get repeated in Sharda Lipi. That's why when you go ahead with these Vyanjan consonants, you get a little confused. But with practice, you understand which letter is what, where is the smaller triangle, where is this loop ending. That's the only reason why you find Sharda Lipi a little confusing to understand, because these shapes are very similar. They get repeated after every work. So with practice, it just you will get a knack of it. So I'm drawing the shape again with the Shirorekha. From the left side, I'm drawing this similar stroke here, what we did yesterday in Re, similar way. But now here, just where this point, this shape is ending, on the top of that, a smaller triangle here. This is toe. Okay. You'll get the study material to practice on your own also. Now the next is tha. Okay. So in case of tha, again, the letter without the Shirorekha, it's just a round, just a circle. There is no Shirorekha, there is no other vertical or horizontal stroke attaching to it, just a round figure like this. This is tha. Okay. Now the next one is da. Again, what I said in case of near from cha work, that shape is going to get repeated, and here it comes. We are going to repeat that shape again. A stroke here, curling up my pen towards the right and making a loop like this. Now you remember near we drew like this. Correct? Can you see the difference between the letters? One is very clear, this vertical stroke that is missing. There is one more difference if you can figure it out. The other difference is when I'm making this near, this curve of near, I'm getting it all the way here down. Correct? Now imagine a central axis here. For example, I'm imagining a line here. Let me draw it again for you here. This is near, okay? So we are imagining a line over here. If you see, this loop, this curve is touching the central axis like this. Okay, now in case of da, if you see, what we have done is if we draw an imaginary line here, this is not touching this line. Correct? It's further behind of this. When I'm drawing this, I'm not getting it all the way down. So when you're drawing this imaginary line, you can see this is not touching this axis here. It is stopping right here and leaving some gap in between this central axis and here. Where in case of near, you saw this was touching completely this central axis. These are some minute differences that you will have to keep in mind while drawing these letters, similar looking letters especially. Okay, so let me draw this again for you. This is da. From the center we start. We curl it up here. And when we are drawing this curve, we do not get it till here. We just stop here. Towards the left hand side, we just stop. So this is da. Okay. Now the next one is dha. Here we start from the left. You remember in case of cha, we drew a round, a circular figure like this. You get it all the way down here. And once you reach here, you make another round shape like this. This is dha. So what I did was I started from the left. I curled up and made a bigger round here. Then I get this stroke down. And once you reach here, once you know the Shirorekha, you have reached the Shirorekha. It should coincide with the Shirorekha on the top. And then once you reach there, you draw another round like this. This becomes dha. So these two round shapes, this you have to keep in mind. These two should be big enough to make it look like dha. But this round, make sure that this round is bigger than this one. What I mean is this round is a little smaller, this is a little bigger. So you might tend to make both look like this. No, it's not like that. Don't make this loop, this round is a little smaller than this. Okay, here. A smaller round, then you go down further, you make a bigger round to make dha. Then the next one is rna. This. Now what we do here is 1, 2, and then keep it halfway through. This doesn't go down, this just remains halfway. So one more time I'm drawing it. 1, 2, and this you keep like that. This is rna. Okay, make sure that this, and this, they are all in the same line. This in the same line. Okay. I'm going to start with the varg now. So I'll repeat all these letters towards the end and we'll share the teaching material also with you. So don't worry about if I'm going too fast also. If you're feeling like that, then we can do the revision towards the end. So the varg, the first letter from varg, the. Now in this case, we draw a Shirorekha. We draw these, how we draw 3 in, it's just like 3. It represents the number 3. This is the. Nothing, you just have to draw a vertical Shirorekha, a horizontal line on the top. And from there, you draw this 3 looking like figure. This is the. Just keep this stroke a little flat. Don't tend to make it upwards. Keep it flat here like this. This is the. Okay. Then we have the Shirorekha. And then we draw a line parallel to the Shirorekha like this. This makes it tha. If you remember, Sh in Devanagari looks like this, but here in Sharda we have tha looking like this. So I'm drawing this like figure here, a vertical stroke that goes down. Excuse me. Then a line parallel to the Shirorekha. This is tha. Okay, so we did the, we did the. Now we move to the. This is the. In case of the, this letter is very similar to what we did in case of the. Okay, now you'll see how similar they look. You get this stroke down. You make a very small round. This round should not be very big, how we did for the. Then you get this stroke down and you curl it a little bit without making a round. In case of the, we made a round. Here we don't make a round. We just leave, we curl it up here a little bit, just a little bit, and then leave it. And then this curve here should coincide here on the top with the Shirorekha. They fall in the same frame. On the left hand side also a very small round. Then you get it down, curl it up, but not making any round on the top, at the end. And this becomes the. Now I'm going to draw dh also here so that you can see the difference, the clear difference between dh and d. This is dh. See the similarities and the differences. This has a round here. This loop, it is a little bigger. Here it is smaller. This one is the main difference here. This one. Okay. I'm going to erase this so that it doesn't interfere with our next letter. So we did the, now we draw another letter dh. Shirorekha. How you draw U in English alphabets? Similar way, dh. This is dh. It's U from English alphabet. It looks like that. And so far, have you made note of the letters that don't have Shirorekha? We did Th, which didn't have a Shirorekha. We did R, which didn't have a Shirorekha. So just underline those letters so that you know how many letters do not have a Shirorekha, because we'll be using them in the coming sessions. Okay, so this is dh. Then the last one from this is n, that is remaining. N is very simple. N, just a vertical stroke here, and right in the center of this vertical stroke, we draw this parallel line. In case of Devanagari na, we have this, it curls it up and makes a small round here. In case of Sharda na, we just have a parallel line to the Shirorekha. There's no rounding, just a simple parallel line to the Shirorekha. So with this, we have covered the varg also, the, and no. So before we go to the revision, I'll just take one more work per work, and then we will move to the revision of all the letters that we learned so far. Okay, per work. Per. So in case of per, we do not have a Shirorekha again. We start with a curve like this. This is per. This one doesn't have a Shirorekha. What we have done is we start with a very small curve and then redraw this. This curve should not, don't trend to make this curve like this. If you see this thing, this became a little broader here. That is now how your purr should look like. It's a small, a very soft curve, and then this very soft one. Just a little bit of, you have to take it towards the right hand side and then get it back like this. Okay. Next we have is purr. Shirorekha. From the left I start. This is purr. What I did, I drew the Shirorekha. From the left of the Shirorekha, I kept my pen a little slant, not too much of a slant as well, a little slant, I would say. Then you make a curve here, and after this curve, when you take your pen upwards, then you draw another round here. I can draw it again for you. A little curve here. Then you move towards the right hand side. Then you get it back all the way up like this. And then you make a round here. Make sure then when you close, you have to, when you close this circle, it coincides here right in the center of this. Okay, this is per. Then we have b. From the center of the Shirorekha, I draw this vertical line. And from here, I make a bigger circle like this. I round it up and get it all the way here in the middle. So don't make this mistake of making this loop smaller. Okay, this is not how burr should look like. Get it all the way up here and close it in the center. Now you see this part and this part. So this circle, this loop is getting right in the center. This is equal, this line and this line downwards, they are equidistant. Okay, so this is cutting this vertical line right here in the center. So make sure you get it all the way up to the center of the vertical line. B. Okay. Next we have is bh. Now we are again coming across the similar shape that we discussed earlier. Now I'm not from the center, I'm moving my pen towards the left. Excuse me. Towards the left of the Shirorekha. And from here, I draw the stroke. Here I round it. This is bh. So what I did, Shirorekha, smaller stroke, then I round it up here. I get it all the way up and stop right here. Okay, now if you remember DA was like this. We started from the center. We started here in the center. We rounded it up and we just stopped before the center. And if you remember near, we got this curve all the way and touch the central axis here. But what we are doing in Bha is we don't start from the middle, we start from the left because we need to get this curve a little bigger. We start from the left, we draw this loop, we make this circle a little bit bigger, and then we get it all the way. We cross the central axis and we get it all the way up here, but we do not join these two. So this gap in between, it should be left open. This is Bha. So now this is for the reference to see the difference in the curves. This curve is all the way here. This curve we stop right before the central axis, and this we cross the central axis, get it all the way up and leave some gap in between this one and this one. That is Bha. Okay. Now the last one from this is remaining. That is Ma. In case of Ma, we start like this. We make a round here, and this is Ma. Now again, this letter Ma doesn't have a Shirorekha. Okay, so make a note, underline this letter. Okay, what I did was start with a curve, make a round here, get it like this, take it up. This is Ma. Okay, so we will just stop here so that I can write all the letters that we have done so far today. And then remaining are only two Vargiya and Shya that we can do in the next class. Okay, so I'm only drawing the Sharda equivalent. This is Ka, Kha, Ga, then we had Kha, then No. Then the next one was Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, and Nya. Okay, Ka varg and Cha varg. Now we draw the Ta varg. Ta, Tha, Da, this is Dha, And the last one from this was no. K varg, ch varg, and t varg. Okay. Then t. Shirorekha and a tree-like figure. The, th, the. Sorry, I missed the in between. The, then the, and the last one from this was no. The next one was p, the smaller curve without the Shirorekha. Then p, little curve, get it all the way up, make a round, and p. P from the center of the Shirorekha, getting it all the way in the middle of this vertical line. B. Then for bh, from the left of the Shirorekha, getting this curve all the way up and stopping here. Bh. And the last one from this is ma, without the Shirorekha. Okay. So with this, we complete the consonants till ma. Now we are left with 8 more consonants, and then we move to the complex conjuncts. I mean the conjuncts, Sanyuktakshar that we call. So like yesterday, just practice these letters that we learned today. Send the assignment how you did yesterday, and we'll do the rest in the next class.
Thanks.
Anything? Yes.
Sure, sure. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, if there is no questions or anything, then we will just end the session here. You'll get the recording also of the session later in the day.